Hello learners, how are you? I hope you all are doing very well at your home. I am also fine. Before going to our lesson, I would like to remind you that we are going through a very difficult time because of coronavirus. Every moment, thousands of people are dying in the world. In this situation, we have to stay at home to stay safe. I am Mujahidul Islam, Assistant Professor, Department of English, Milestone College. Today, I shall discuss about use of special words and phrases. The item is from English second paper. Before discussing the rules and regulations of this item, I would like to give you some clear idea about this topic. In English second paper question, in question number 3, you will get a question like this: complete the sentences with suitable phrases and words given in the box. You will get a text like this, and in the box you will get some special words and phrases, and in the text there will be 10 gaps. You have to use correct words or phrases in the gaps. For each correct answer, you will get 0.5 marks. For total 10 correct answer, you will get total 5 marks. Now, let us go to the rules of using these special words and phrases, and at the same time, we shall be familiar with these words also. Number 1, be born. Be born, be will be changed into is, are, was, were. We use be born, it is used to indicate where, that means place, or when someone is born. So, you have understood where we use be born. Look at the example. Ismail is a versatile genius. He dashed into a needy family. So, what can be used here? Here I want to say the place or the family where he was born. That means he is born into a needy family. B number, the Wright brothers first invented aeroplane. They were born in America. They as a subject is plural. That's why be here has been where. In C number, Josimuddin is a rural poet. He was born in 1903. See, according to the tense, be was changed. Be has been was. 1903 is a past tense. So, I think you have understood it. Number 2, where we use has to or have to. Look here, we use have to or has to talk about obligation, things that are necessary to do, or to give advice about things that are a good idea to do. That means we use have to express obligation or to give advice. See example, do you often have to travel one business? You are always seen traveling abroad. In B number, you see, you look very tired. So, you have to take rest before boarding cockpit. So, it is an obligation or it is an advice for you. C number, he experienced a great loss in his business. He dash be more careful before investment. What we can use here? We can use here has to, because subject is he. For he we use has to. So, according to the subject, has can be have or have can be has. And here I have used has to give him a suggestion that he should be more careful for further investment. I hope you have understood it. Number 3, would rather. Where we use would rather? We use would rather to talk about preferring one thing to another. That means if you prefer, suppose you have two options and you are asked to choose the better option. That's in that case we use would rather. See the example. We would rather pay a visit to Cox's Bazar than Sundarbans. For visit, we have two options. One is Cox's Bazar, another is Sundarbans. Which one you prefer? We are preferring Cox's Bazar. Here, I can express it like this. We would rather pay a visit to Cox's Bazar than the Sundarbans. Here you have to remember another thing, that would rather is followed by then. If you use would rather, then you have to use then. So, if you find then in a sentence, in that sentence you can use would rather. But remember, if then is present in a sentence, we also use no sooner had. When we use no sooner had, here you see, if you find gap after the subject, then you have to use would rather. And about no sooner had I shall discuss later. B number, you would rather build your house than live in a rented house. So there is two options. One is living in a rented house, another one is building your own house. Which one is better for you? Choose. I think that it is better to build own house. So we can express this thing like this way. I would rather build. You would rather build your own house than live in a rented house. So I think you have understood it. Had better. Where we use had better? We use had better to denote the actions which is better to do in a specific situation. Had better. Look, had indicates past tense, but it has a special use, and with that special use, had is used to give meaning of present tense or future tense. Don't be confused that as there is had, it will give you meaning of past tense. No. See, it is raining outside. So, you had better take an umbrella. It is raining outside. You want to go to outside, and stepping at the door, you can see that it is raining. So, you have thought that it is you had better take an umbrella to protect you from rain. B number, Sheila is suffering from toothache. So, what she needs to do? She had better see a dentist. So, it is it's a special situation, and in this situation she had better see a doctor to get relief from her toothache. Let alone. What is the use of let alone? Let alone is used to indicate that something is more impossible than another thing. Something is more impossible than another thing. See here, Ramesh is a poor farmer. He cannot buy food for his family, let alone a pair of bulls. A pair of bulls is necessary to plow the lands. So, Ramesh is so poor farmer that he cannot even buy food for family member. So, how it is possible for him to buy a pair of bulls? No, it is not possible. It is more impossible, it is most impossible. So, look here again, to indicate that something is more impossible than another thing. See example number B. Rohan cannot afford to buy a cell phone, let alone a laptop. Cell phone is comparatively you can buy at easy price, easy cost or easy price or cheap rate, but laptop is costlier. So, you are unable to buy a cell phone. So, it is beyond imagination to buy a laptop. So, it is indicating your inability to do a difficult thing. So let alone is used to indicate inability. What if? When we use what if? What if means what would happen? What would happen if something unwanted occurs? You don't know what would happen, but you are sensing some danger. See example, what would happen? What if you lose your pen? B number, what if the train does not arrive in time? It expresses your worriness or tension. C number, Rana, what if we miss the bus? Meena is answering, we will take a taxi. Sorry, here is wrong. It will be take a taxi. It will be actually we will take a taxi. So we have understood the use of what if. Number 7, as if or as though. Both give you similar meaning. We use as if or as though to talk about someone's behavior which is not true. See example, I cannot stand Rubel. He always acts dash he were smarter than everyone. In this situation, so he always acts. It expresses his behavior, but he behaves in a way that he pretends to be smarter than anybody, but actually he is not that. In this situation, to express this thing, we use as if. Another thing I would like to remind you that if you find present indefinite tense, gap and then past indefinite tense, you have to use as if, or if you find past indefinite tense, then gap and then past perfect tense, in this situation also you have to use as if or as though. Here I have mentioned it, present simple tense, then gap, then past simple tense, you have to use as if or as though in the gap, or if there is past simple tense, gap and past perfect tense, in this situation also you have to use as if or as though. So I think you have understood it very well. As soon as. When we use as soon as, let us see. We use as soon as to show that something happens just after another action is completed. So one action is followed by another action here. See here, as soon as the gate of the park was opened, the children rushed in. So this action happened immediately after this action, and in this situation we use as soon as. See B number, I shall meet you as soon as I land in Dhaka. So landing in Dhaka will be followed, meeting with you will take place just after landing in Dhaka. So this action will happen immediately after this action. So here you have understood that one action is followed by another action. In this situation we use as soon as. What's it like? Let us see. We use words like to ask for a description of someone or something, especially their appearance, their size, their character and their behavior. See the example, Rita, what is your family like? What is your family like? Answer, Robin, our family is not so big. So it is giving idea about the size of the family. In this situation we use words like. What does look like? What does look like? This expression refers to the physical aspects as height, size, weight, etc. Let us see example. Daughter asking mother, what does an albatross look like? Dash an albatross dash. So how we can complete it? We can complete it like this. What does an albatross look like? See here, this is the answer. An albatross is a very large white bird. Rana, gap, and here is also gap. In this gap you have to use what does, in this gap you have to use look like. So what will be the answer? How we can complete it? We can complete it like this. What does a ghost look like? Here I would like to give you a tips also. If you find two gaps in a sentence, for that sentence you have to use what does look like. If you find two gaps, here you see two gaps, on and to, there are two gaps, on and to, there are two gaps. So I think you have understood it very easily. It is time and it is high time. When we use it is time and it is high time? It is time and it is high time is used to denote that this is the perfect time to do something. This is the perfect time. This moment is the perfect time for doing something. See the example. The structure will be like this. After it is time, or if you find a sentence in past indefinite tense after the gap. See here, you left the place. This is written in past indefinite tense. So after the gap, if you find a sentence in past indefinite tense, in that gap you can use it is time or it is high time, which will be in the box. You have to pick that up. So structure is telling us that it is time or it is high time, whatever it is. After that there will be a past simple tense. So if you write here it is time and the second clause is written, you left the place. I think you have understood it. B number, people stopped corruption from society. See, after gap there is people stopped, past indefinite tense. So you have to use here it is time or it is high time. Lest, when we use lest, let us see. Lest means for fear that. It is basically used to warn. You are giving warning to someone that if you do not do this thing, something unpleasant may happen. So you are giving a warning, do this thing or you have to face something unpleasant. It can be replaced by otherwise. Otherwise and lest are same. It gives the same meaning. Structure will be like this. Lest will be followed by a subject, and after subject there must be should or might. So the tips for you that if you find subject and should after a gap, remember subject and should or might after the gap, you have to use lest there. See here, Rima studies hard lest GPA 5 should be missed. Here I can use otherwise. Rima studies hard, otherwise GPA 5 should be missed. But if otherwise is given in the box, you have to use otherwise, or if lest is given in the box, you have to use lest. See here, work fast, gap, then subject, then there is might. So see the structure. After subject, if you find should or might, then you have to use lest. So there must be used, there you have to use lest. Work fast lest you might miss the flight. I think you have understood the use of lest. Would you mind? Would you mind is used to ask people politely to do things. You are requesting someone politely. The structure will be like this. Would you mind will be followed by a verb, and the verb will be in present participle form. See the example, and the tips I would like to give you here is that if after gap, if you find verb ing, then you have to use would you mind. So it is raining heavily, would you mind closing the window? Then B number, you can write here also, would you mind eating sea fish? I think you will enjoy it. So you have understood the use of would you mind. Now let us see the use of no sooner had. No sooner had is used to show that one thing happens just after another thing. See, it is used with the past perfect and followed by then. So, if there is then in any sentence, you can use no sooner had, but remember that in case of no sooner, gap will be before the subject. There will be then and the gap will be before the subject. In this situation, you have to use no sooner had. See, the students were talking in the class, dash the teacher entered the classroom, then the students, then they stopped talking. So, there is then, as there is then and there is gap before the subject, you have to use here no sooner had. I think you have understood it. Introductory it or there. Introductory it and there is used especially to start a sentence. It gives no special meaning or it gives no meaning. Let us see, are used to introduce this sentence, usually followed by to be verb or principal verb. That means after there or it, there may be used of be verb or any principal verb. Let us see the example. Dash is hue and cry on the road. I can write here there. There is hue and cry on the road. Something must have happened. B number, I can use here also there. There exists no life on Mars. C number, it is many years since we first met. See, these, there, it gives no meaning. It is just used to introduce or start a sentence, start this sentence. I can write here, it appears to me that you can solve this problem. Used to. Why do we use used to? We use used to indicate past habit or practice which no longer exists. That means we use, by using used to, we describe our past action or activities. See the example. In my boyhood, I used to swim in our pond. B number, when she lived in London, she used to play walking. So, you have understood the use of used to. Not only but also. Where we use not only but also. We use not only but also to show parallelism between two phrases or words. Especially we use not only but also to focus or to give emphasis on all the elements. See the example, he is not only intelligent but also funny. So, he is both intelligent and funny. These both qualities of him, his both qualities are taking here equal importance. See here, she speaks not only French but also Spanish fluently. So, I am focusing on her ability of speaking fluently on both French and Spanish. So, we use not only but also to give equal importance on all the words or phrases. We have come to the end of our lesson. I have discussed here elaborately all the rules of this item. I think you have understood it. If there is some vagueness about this item, you can ask your teacher and he will help you. And to be versatile or to be sound in this item, I will suggest you to practice some item from second paper. After that, after practicing enough, you will be more confident in using this item. Today I would like to say you goodbye here. To remain healthy and good, you should stay at home and stay safe. Goodbye.